Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at my trusty Shadow Granbull with Snarl, because we are not DJs, we are not going to run Charm today in the Ultra League, and we're already going to see why I love to play this Pokemon. First game here already, we're going to encounter Registeel as a Say Swap. We're going to get the defense drop here, which is really nice, and we're going to be even luckier as the opponent goes for the Depth Can, doesn't get the debuff, and like this, we're either going to get the knockout here or 2 shields from the opponent. We're going to get the knockout here, which is really nice, and we can realign. This is basically how this team works. We're going to have here the trap of the Granbull. We have the Clefable on the back that really doesn't want to play against any kind of Steel-type Pokemon. And we're going to have the Swampert in the lead, which is going to be able to beat those Fire-type Pokemon, as well as being just very strong in general. How Stark is next opponent here? Very strong opponent, very strong player. But against our Granbull, they don't know where to go. So here we're going to have the Crunch coming through against the opponent, allowing us to go ahead and go for a shield now, as I expect that they're going to have a team that I already showcased earlier on my channel as well. Double Say Swap, most likely the Obstagoon in the back, which I already showcased as well here with, I use at least Obstruct on the Pokemon, but if they have this team, it does not matter, because you're going to be able to just destroy the Double there with the bait first, and now the Crunch, the Crunch debuff plus the Close Combat was enough to knock them out. Like this, we can realign, we can go ahead and go into our Swampert against the Deoxys, just straight up knocking them out as they just got to their move here, and they will see that we're going to have a perfect answer for the Obstagoon in the back, and there was nothing they can do in this matchup there. Also, Granbull again came in clutch. A very bad lead for us. Cresselia is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. I'm just going to overfarm my quite a bit and then swap out into my Granbull, trying to get as much energy here right now. I can take a charge move, especially a Moonblast here. Doesn't do as much as a Future Sight, for example, but we can do a ton of damage back to them with our Crunch, which is very nice, because you're going to be able to two-shot the opponent with this. But I can just go ahead, use a shield here against the most likely incoming Grass Knot. No, they're going to go for Moonblast here. So most likely they're going to run Future Sight and Moonblast, because there was no reason for them not to go for Grass Knot here. But I will be able to get another shield. I can go for my own shield again here. And either I can, okay, or I'm just going to let this move go through, but either I would have been able to realign or get my Swampert here in a very decent position. This is a CMP tie as well, allowing us to get the knockout against the opponent, and we're gonna see the Virizion coming in. They have a Swampert in the back, and this is not really looking too good for us. I needed to keep alignment there. This was definitely the deal breaker there. I needed to try to get some alignment with my Granbull. But like this, the opponent going to be able to have the alignment on their side, and I just literally, that's like the one reason why I don't really like the Swampert right now. There are just so many different Virizions. So maybe actually like Sludge Ray Swampert might be an interesting play for this league right now. But right now, at least, I don't really enjoy using Swampert in like some scenarios at least. Like I had this kind of several times with my team where I just got hardwalled by Virizion in the back. And maybe Sludge Wave is the way to go, but even Sludge Wave doesn't one-shot them or come even close to that, so it's a little bit tricky. Next opponent, next Registeel. I just always hope that they throw before me, because then I can just go for the close combat, but I don't always want to waste energy. So here we're going to be able to now go for one close combat, going to be able to do a ton of damage against them, going to be able to two-shot them here as well, and we can go for another one as we have another one stored afterwards. So again, either I'm going to get 2 shields here or I'm going to get switch advantage, and I'm going to get switch advantage and damage onto the Jellicent. This is going to be amazing for me, as I can now swap out into my Clefable. This will allow me to do a ton of damage against them with a Moonblast. If they're going to shield this move up, that's going to be definitely nice for us as well. But yeah, we're going to see the shield here, so our Swampert has a shield advantage. And we're going to see now as well, Shadow Ball coming through, going to get shielded, and I can go ahead and go for my own Moonblast afterwards. As the Shadow Ball is coming through again, I will be able to go for the Moonblast now, but they're going to swap out into the Gliscor, and this is looking very decent for us, alright? Kinda right, but it can be still a little bit tricky. I can go for one Hydro Cannon here, but I was not fast enough at swapping out there that they might be able to reach an Earthquake here in time. So we will see the bait from the opponent. They don't get the boost. This should knock them out, right? I mean, it's super effective. It is from a Swampert. It is Shadow, but it doesn't. And like this, they can knock out my Swampert, and this can be still a little bit close, but I can farm them all the way down. And I'm gonna go for a weird play here. I'm gonna go for double Media Mesh, because I'm fairly certain that I win CMP against the opponent, which I do here. And like this, I will be able to knock them out. I'm not sure if it was smarter to go for the non-resisted move first, or like for 2 moves here. I feel like 2 moves was the way to go in my opinion, but definitely worked out at least for me, as you're going to encounter a very bad lead for me. going to be the the charm variant of the Alolan Ninetales, which is going to do a ton of damage against Swampert. You will be able to force some shields, and you will be able to win the one-shield scenario against the opponent. So that's that. So you're going to at least get one kind of advantage here. But it's definitely not where you want to see this Pokemon. And especially if Swampert has like some matchup in the back that you really want to have it for, it's going to be a little bit tricky. I'm going to swap out into my Granbull right now. And this might be a mistake, to be fair, as well. We're going to see the Weather Ball coming through. I can go for the Crunch. I thought Crunch would be already enough, to be fair. I know it's resisted, but we have a Shadow Granbull here, but it's just barely not enough. And now we are going to be so close, but we're going to still get to a charge move against the opponent's Cobalion here, which is going to be very nice. And it seems like that they don't have the best answers against Fairy-type Pokemon if they go into their Cobalion here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for a shield, and they bait me with a Sacred Sword. This is not what I wanted to see. But what I wanted to see is the Giratina in the back. And like this is looking very, very promising for me. I can go for a Meteor Mash here for sure to knock them out. But honestly, maybe I make some mistakes here by going for a little bit more of a fast move down there. But I can still go for the Meteor Mash. It's going to definitely do a ton of damage against the opponent. And we just need a Meteor Mash to knock them out here. And Clefable sweeps endgame again. Clefable, a very strong Pokemon right now, as we're going to be able to win this game. Next opponent, we're going to see a Alolan Muk in the lead. Very good for us, exactly where we want to see it. And we're going to see that they're staying in here. So they're most likely double weak to Swampert. So here we're going to be able to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon, which is going to do some decent damage if it would hit, but of course Earthquake is what we need to knock them out. They're gonna go for the Dark Pulse, which is really nice for us, that they didn't go for the Acid Spray, which could have been a little bit tricky. But like this, we can also go for a CMP tie here right now. I'm gonna get the shield. I'm gonna use my shield here as well, and I can overfarm by quite a bit here to get to another charge move. But my opponent makes a great play and catches this move perfectly onto the Giratina. But this is totally fine because it's going to do a ton of damage. And I can overfarm by quite a bit again and swap out perfectly onto the Dragonclaw into my Clefable. Like this, we're going to have them in range where I can just go for one Meteor Mash, but I don't really want to do exactly that yet. I kind of want to overfarm a little bit so I can knock out the opponent's Alolan Muk as well with my Clefable. So I can then realign, have a ton of energy on my Swampert, and this is going to be definitely the best play that I can do, as the opponent going to go straight for their move, but I can overfarm by a little bit here as well. Acid Spray going to do a ton of damage, of course, after. Also, no, the Poison Jab's going to do a ton of damage, but we're still going to be able to survive it, and we see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be a Sylveon. Did I make a misplay here by going to my Granbull, right? Kinda. Not that much either though, because I will be able to go ahead and go for one close combat, and I reach another one, which is going to allow us to put the opponent into range for just one Hydro Cannon from our Swampert, and this is going to be a good game here. Also, we are currently here at 3100 ELO range, so definitely like higher level battles as well. Next opponent, one that was a lot of times rank 1 in the world, Swampert, very cool dude as well. Back in the day when I still streamed on Twitch, he was also always in my chat, so shoutouts to them, still my friend as far as I know. But very good battler, and also kinda can hardwall me now with a Skunk Tank in the back. He lost his Skunk Tank for sure for the Ultra League, so could have maybe expected this, but I'm usually not that high in the ELO range, mainly because of me tanking on purpose for getting content out better. For example, now I'm currently recording before the community day on Sunday. You're gonna see it definitely afterwards. But I'm currently tanked 2 sets today again just to get some lower ELO range so I can get battles faster for the community day. So yeah, that's kind of always the thing why I don't really go up on the leaderboards anymore. It's just not worth it for me, sadly, as a content creator. Like, if you just play the game on your own, you of course can still do it, but like for me, just waiting the time out just hurts my channel, sadly, which is how it is. Here I definitely should have tried to bait the opponent. If I baited there with the Hydro Cannon, which was an obvious bait that they, obvious one that the opponent going to shear this one there, I would have been so much better off in this scenario here right now. But I can still go for one Moonblast. We're going to see that we're actually going to get the attack drop, which is really nice. I think the first one of today's video, so was kind of due somewhere. But now in comes here the opponent's Shadow Snorlax. But as you're going to see right now, I will be able to knock them out with one Meteor Mash. I will be able to maybe even get to a move against the opponent's Jellicent. But just if I had now, instead of the Hydro Cannon, the Earthquake on my Swampert, I already would have won this game here. But Yeah, this is my own mistake. I had the Hydro Cannon stored. Hydro Cannon is definitely not enough from this range. I had to try to get to the Earthquake, so that's going to be a good game, but definitely something that I could have played a little bit better. I just had to go for the bait. It came down to like one call there from the opponent, so good game there. Next opponent, we're going to encounter Charizard here. This is going to be an interesting one as well, as we can go ahead and go for the fast crunch, as you're going to get the defense drop as well. Are you going to use a shield here against a potential blast burn? And it's going to be a blast burn, as we're going to now be able to go for another crunch against them. Get a shield, and I'll most likely make a small mistake here soon. I'm not sure about it. I'm actually going to be able to let this move go through and hope that I can go for another charge move afterwards. This is going to be just the Dragon Claw, but no, they're going to be able to knock me out. It's just all kind of awkward here now, because I kind of forced to shield up the Blast Burn. It does a ton of damage, even though it's resisted. Shadow with Shadow especially. Like, Blast Burn does around 50% health of the Swampert, so I kind of was forced to shield. We're going to see the Wall Ring coming in. One Icicle Spear does definitely less damage than the Blast Burn before, so that's fine. I can go for the Earthquake here, but I don't want to, and I'm going to go ahead and catch this move here, which is going to be very good for me, as the Icicle Spear going to get now onto my Clefable, which can take it fairly easily, and we're going to get out the Ampharos. And if this Ampharos has Zap Cannon, we should be able to farm down afterwards with our Swampert, but it turns out they're actually running Thunder Punch, which I didn't really expect that they would still run here. That's very rare to be seen, actually. Usually people run Brutal Swing and Focus Blast, Brutal Swing and Zap Cannon. But like this, we can realign, but this can be also a little bit tricky. I have to go straight for the Earthquake. Does it do enough damage here? It does not. Can we outspeed them to the next move? We can perfectly outspeed them here by going for the CMP tie here and going to be able to win this game as well. This was most likely one of my favorite games as well. We're able to just like barely win this game there after a pretty bad lead for us and pretty bad save swap with our good friend Swampert. Next opponent, this was actually a game which, like, this is a general thing is anyway, like, if you play teams that you don't really play too often, like, for me, yeah, I play this team sometimes, but I'm not really familiar with the Pokemon. There's also something that really would help you for example, for tournaments, if you just play the Pokemon and go bad league the entire time, because you're just going to notice stuff that you wouldn't see otherwise. But I actually didn't know that Snorlax would be able to now get to another charge move here and outspeed me with that. So I'm going to be forced to shield this move up, but they can of course go ahead and realign if they want to. I'm just going to go for the Moonblast because I know I get farmed down anyway. If they're going to get the debuff here, that might be nice, but no, I'm not. And now I'm forced to go into my Swampert, try to knock them out beforehand. I didn't even get to the move here beforehand, like I could have thrown it, but like I thought I could overfarm by a little bit more, so that was my own mistake. Now I farm up extra just for the Charizard in case they have that in the, like, if they come back into that one. But no, they're going to have the Trevenant coming in here. And sadly, the opponent Charizard is not Shadow, because I feel like if they were Shadow, I might have been able to do more damage. Okay, no, actually, never mind. I guess it's better that they are not Shadow here then. But I have to try to overfarm by a little bit. They go for the Blast One here. I should have went for one more fast move here, because I know that I'm not going to be able to outspeed the opponent. I just have to hope that they don't get to the move as fast. And sadly, they do know, and they're gonna go for the charge move, and I'm not going to be able to knock the opponent out here with my Swamp, but I can still go for the Earthquake just to have some science here on how much it's going to do, but it's not going to be enough to knock them out, and we can move on to the next game. It might be already a final game, I'm not sure about it, but we're going to encounter now a Deoxys defense against us. This is going to be interesting, as we're going to now get out the Registeel again. This is basically exactly how this team is supposed to work. I can go for one crunch here right now. This hopefully going to get the debuff again. Let's see, it does not, which is a little bit awkward, and it's a CMP tie, which is even worse for me. As I go for the Zap Cannon and get the attack drop. Well, like this, it's going to be a little bit of a trickier one. I'm gonna be forced to go for one crunch first. It's going to now get actually the shield from the opponent, and I can go for another charge move here, which is going to now get the other shield from the opponent. They didn't have to do this. Like, definitely one close combat wouldn't have knocked them out after the non-debuff from me. So this is going to be interesting, as you're going to see the Zap Cannon coming through. We can shield up the move, and now we will get to the Earthquake, but not in time. I feel like maybe it was, like, I don't know, looked like kind of a CMP, but it wasn't a CMP. And I have to go for my Hydro Cannon right now, which will allow me to go for the full farm down now as well. But no, they can still get to a move, and I felt like I lagged a little bit, so I went ahead and disconnected my Go++. Don't play with the Go++ connected, I sometimes just forget about it, so definitely don't do this. It does not really help you at all. It's really buggy with it, so that's one thing there. And we're going to encounter a Regice in the back, which is just wild to be seen, but Clefable is going to enjoy this one quite a bit, as they can go for the Media Mesh and some Fairy Winds, which is going to be super effective with the Media Mesh, and this is going to be really nice for us. This is going to be able to knock out the opponent's Pokemon here, And they do not really have a good choice here with the Deoxys. They can debuff themselves if they want to, but I think Clefable can still survive it. We have the rank 2 variant of it, and yes, we can survive the Psycho Boost. We can go for another charge move here right now. This is going to be able to get them close enough that I can go for an Earthquake here for the Swampert and win this final game. And this is also going to be it for the video. If you're new here, please feel free to click the subscribe button. Otherwise, there are going to be 2 videos on the screen right now. Check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.